Question 9, if police and fire are the main priorities of the bond, why are other buildings being included in the same bond? Well, I put up there, due to the decrease in revenue since 2008, there's numerous significant projects, building improvements, repairs have been delayed and postponed. But like I've talked about earlier, we have had to make decisions. Every year budgetarily, we make decisions about, oh, well, we need a new roof on building whatever it is. Well, can we get it through one more year and we'll just do a $10,000 repair? Because we don't have endless amounts of funds. And it goes for every building. Those decisions and deferments and everything have had to happen. If we did a bond simply for the police and fire station, yes, it would be less money, but we would still be fiscally strapped. And I'm telling you, we would never catch up to all the other needed repairs. And I'll use Westfield. Westfield is, I think, one of the greatest buildings we have in the city. And it serves such a great purpose, takes care of the seniors. There's programming in that building all the time. We have noted about $1.4 million in needed repairs. That building needs work. It's going to be probably more than that, because if you read the report, it tells you that there is step cracking in the walls, there are foundational issues, which council has talked about now, I would guess, for the last 7-8 years or whatever, for sure, about the foundations. We're going to address those. We're going to get it done. It's going to be done right. And honestly, for the next 50 years, the seniors are going to have a place, and everybody will have been a senior by that time. They're going to have a place to go and congregate, and it's going to be clean, it's going to be safe, it's going to be ADA compliant, and it's going to be done right. And that's what we need to do across the board with all of our buildings. We have issues here at City Hall. Everybody's, aware of the front steps and different things or whatever throughout this building that need adjustment. But we've always had to make the most frugal. A lot of times it's been deferments of repairs where we've had leaks in roofs. I remember when I first got hired, it was raining, and I was meeting with Mayor Stack, and I didn't want to get into story time, but on my way in and then in her office, I encountered 5 buckets that were catching rain coming through the roof. And I was horrified. I mean, Mayor, I go, what, do you have a rain bucket? Yeah, well, it leaks when it rains here. And your first reaction would be, well, what's the matter with council? Listen, the funding wasn't there. It took another year to be able to get the funding to be able to fix it and fix it right. And it's like that. It's a shell game throughout the city with every single one of our buildings.
And right, in addition to that too, that since the housing market collapsed in '08, so many of those things got delayed, deferred, and yeah, you summarized it best by saying that the money wasn't there, and that's tying back to what we're talking about, the levels of service that we pride ourselves on, that our residents deserve. Frankly, those deferments on those big infrastructure investments are the reason that through the market crash and all that we were still able to provide that level of service to folks and not have to scale back or charge more fees for things like that. I mean, none of us want to pay more for anything, that's for sure. But those would have been some realities, and certainly was before my time on council, but those would have been the things that would have had to have happened. That's what gets us to this point. And so we've seen over the last couple years too, in some of our buildings, our maintenance budgets have tripled in some cases because the chickens have come home to roost, and that there is no way that they can be deferred any longer. So it may sound strange or tough to kind of comprehend about it sometimes. But this, in a way, is probably the most cost-effective way that we could go about making these improvements in an expedient manner, and while still continuing to be able to provide services to residents, because that money that we would no longer be spending in maintenance on these buildings can go back into other aspects of the city. You know, what we would be spending on Westfield Center to improve the building, and just maintain it as what it is, where we've still got rain buckets and things like that, foundational issues all over the place when the weather gets bad, the ice pooling up in front of the doors, things like that. The money that we would no longer be spending on maintenance annually can go back into the services that we offer to residents and help enhance those in some ways. So it could, it's a shell game in a certain way, but it's money that all would be coming back to our residents for sure.